Are you someone who is afraid of conflicts? Or are you in a managerial position wherein you need to resolve conflicts? Wherever you are in your career, this video will help you to understand different type of conflicts and what are the tools and strategies that you can use to resolve these conflicts. In our ever-changing world of IT, conflicts are an inevitable part of our daily lives. However, how we handle them makes all the difference. There are different types of conflicts that we come across on a day-to-day basis. There are three different types of conflict that we would be seeing today. The first one is conflict arising due to differences in personalities. The second one is due to the gaps in the communication. And the third one is due to disagreement on priorities and goals. Let's start with the first conflict area, which is differences in personalities. To understand this better, let me give you an example. Imagine two colleagues working together, David and Emily. Emily is someone who is a meticulous planner. She always works on deadlines and is very methodical in her approach towards everything that she does. Whereas David is a whirlwind of creative ideas. He thrives on boldness and spontaneity. And there comes a time when these two very different personalities have to collaborate on a project together. The project is around a problem that their prime client is facing, and they need to find a solution to it. And it all started with their first meeting together, to which Emily came up with color-coded spreadsheets and a proper plan and a solid agenda that they should stick throughout the meeting. Whereas David wanted to dive headfirst into the brainstorming sessions to discuss on ideas as to how they can resolve the problems through latest innovations and technology. As Emily attempted to control David's enthusiasm and keep the meeting on track, tension flared. David felt that he cannot work with Emily's rigid structure because it stifled his creativity, whereas Emily felt frustrated with what she perceived as David's lack of focus and discipline. Their conflicting values only escalated the situation beyond control. Emily valued professionalism, efficiency, deadlines, and sticking to the plan as essential component to success, whereas David valued creativity, innovation, and pursuit of groundbreaking ideas, believing that rigid structures stifled creative expressions. Soon the conflict increased and went through a boiling point where the manager had to intervene. The manager heard both the sides of the story and he explained to both of them how Emily's planning, deadlines, and adherence to a structure is required to succeed, and David's innovation and creativity is also value addition, with a little compromise at both of their ends. And by focusing on the common values of dedication, hard work, and resolving client issues as an objective, they work together going forward. They learn to appreciate each other's strengths and also adapted themselves to complement each other's working styles. Their collaboration resulted into a solution which was beyond everything that the customer expected. They earned praises from the senior management and their colleagues, and they came up as collaborators who can deliver despite of their differences. They were united by the shared love for excellence and the dedication towards their craft. In situation like this, it's always important to focus on what is working, work with each other's strengths, find a common ground that ties you together, and progress, keeping that end vision in the mind. Let's look at the conflict which arises due to communication gap. Communication breakdown can occur when there is a lack of clarity or misinterpretation at the part of the receiver. Let's see how this impacted Sarah and Thompson. One sunny morning, Sarah received this urgent email from her supervisor, Mr. Thompson, in her inbox. The email read as follows. Hi Sarah, we need to finalize the client presentation that we would be using tomorrow. Let's get all our facts and figures right and the necessary data into our slides by end of day today and review together. Also ensure that we need to impress this client with our thoroughness and creativity. Thanks, Mr. Thompson. Feeling the weight of responsibility, Sarah immediately dived into the act of creating the presentation. She went through all the spreadsheets, got all the numbers, all the facts, put them into slides, polished it to her best possible extent, and as the day drew to a close, she sat with her supervisor to go through the presentation. Mr. Thompson went through all the slides and saw that what he was expecting isn't there. And he told Sarah, this isn't what I have asked for. And she could even hear a bit of frustration in his voice. She tried to replay the email in her mind to figure out what is it that she may have had misunderstood, and she couldn't come up with anything. It's not about the data or the visuals, explained Mr. Thompson. His voice also softened. We really need to get creative and innovative in this particular solution. Something that could get our client what they want without the additional cost that may come with it. That's when Sarah understood what Mr. Thompson expected from her when he sent that particular email. Now, all of this could have been easily avoided if only she would have checked with Mr. Thompson after reading the email before she started, or even during the day when she have finished some of her work, that whatever she have created, is it along the line of his expectation, or there is something different that he wants. To resolve any communication gaps, it's important that we practice active listening, attention to details, communicating as clearly as possible, and do regular check-ins so that any misinterpretations can be clarified. Let's see how to resolve the conflicts that arise from disagreement on goals or priorities. In our day-to-day project situations, we always come across scenarios wherein people have different priorities that they need to look after because of roles or responsibilities or even personal agendas. Let's take an example here for me to be able to explain this to you very clearly. So Alex and Maya were together working on a project. Alex was the project manager. He was in charge of keeping the scope, the timelines, and the cost in check. Whereas Maya was the business analyst. She was responsible for getting in the requirement and ensuring that the solution is built according to the client's need and resolves all the problems that the customer have today. Now, as we see here, there are different goals that these people have, and different priorities also comes into picture. And the conflicts arises due to that. And the same happened in this case also. So Maya got several new requirements that came up after the documentation had been signed off. And this new enhancement would actually need a lot of extra cost and some extension to the timelines as well. Whereas Maya was not willing to understand where Alex is coming from. And she just wanted everything delivered at the time which they had initially promised to the customer, and have everything taken care of in the same budget as well as same timelines, which was not possible from Alex's perspective. And this solved the discord between the two of them. They just kept on fighting, and which led to a situation wherein their managers had to intervene and resolve the problem. When they were in a room to check out what is it that's not working for them, their manager encouraged them to speak their different perspective, why they have different priorities, how it's affecting the organization as a whole, and how it would affect client as well. They started seeing each other's perspective and looked at things from each other's lenses. Empathy kicked in, and Maya realized how it's impacting Alex, and Alex also realized where Maya was coming from. And at the end of it, both of them had the shared objective of delivering a solution that works for the customer. As they bridged their gaps and came to compromises, they were able to successfully deliver the project with all the required functionality and even earn accolades from the customers and within the organization. Whenever we are in such situations, setting clear objectives, establishing common shared goals, and working in collaboration with each other to meet the end objective of the project can help resolve conflicts arising from the goals misalignment. Let's summarize what all tools and techniques can be used to resolve a conflict. Conflict resolution techniques such as mediation, negotiation, and compromise can facilitate constructive dialogue and mutual agreement. Emotional intelligence always plays a major role in resolving any sorts of conflicts, because that is when you come from a place of empathy and understanding. By acknowledging emotions, showing empathy, and practicing active listening, individuals can build trust and resolve conflicts more effectively. Ultimately, creating a positive work environment is the key to resolving conflict and managing them. Promote open communication, encourage diversity, recognize achievements, and create a culture of respect and collaboration. In conclusion, conflict resolutions isn't just about resolving disputes. It's about fostering understanding, empathy, and collaboration in the process. It also means that we all understand we are working for a shared goal, and the ultimate objective for all of us is the same. If you have found this content helpful, please subscribe, share it with your colleagues that it may be helpful too. Leave comments on how you resolve your conflict scenarios, or if you have any questions or want me to cover a specific part of conflict management, do let me know, and I'll ensure that I respond to your comments and even work on the request that you have for me. Thank you. See you in the next video.